Hello and welcome to Irish Football Fan TV. This week in Irish football, it was a great week for Adam Idah and for Celtic and for Liam Scales. Liam Scales became the first Irish goal scorer in the Champions League since Darren Gibson back in 2011, I think it was. And it's a long time. But after Liam Scales, we didn't have to wait too long because Adam Idah scored in the same game, obviously, which means, and it could be wrong or it could be right. It depends on what way things are said these days. But I think that the two of them were the first ever Irish goal scorers to score in the same night in the Champions League. But I need to factually check that. But nonetheless, a great night for the Celts in the Champions League, a 5-1 win. And how nice is it to see an Irish team or Irish players playing for Celtic with the Celtic connection and the Irish connection there, and Celtic doing well in Europe, albeit maybe it might be a game that people will say they were expected to win. But the fact of the matter is our Irish players are doing well. Adam Idah also scored 2 goals today in a game against FALKIRK in the Premier Sports Cup. They were losing 2-1 at that stage, but Adam Idah got 2 goals to turn the game on its head. They ended up winning, I think it was 5-2 in the end. So a great week for Adam Idah in red hot form. Hopefully he can continue that form now over the next couple of weeks, coming into the next international window. And Liam Scales is playing a great header, and it's just great to see someone like Liam Scales, like Adam Idah, who are now starting to kind of flourish at Celtic, and that's what we want to see. I know Liam Scales had a great season there last year, but Adam Idah obviously came in there on loan in January, had a good end to the season, and he looks like he's continued that form now with Celtic. And Brendan Rodgers seems to be getting the best out of them all. We can hope now is he can avoid injuries, and then Adam will be a key player for Celtic going forward. And obviously, we want to see more goals in the Champions League and more appearances in the Champions League for both of those players. So great to see there, and a great week for those lads there, especially up in Glasgow. But on then to the Premier League, and Kelleher was the standout Irish player this week. A clean sheet, a fantastic save against Bournemouth in a 3-0 win for Liverpool over Bournemouth, and showing why so many clubs were after him in the summer, showing why Liverpool were rejecting bids for him in the summer. It's going to be a really interesting January whether Liverpool will let Kelleher go or will they keep him till the end of the season and then let him go after that, because he's obviously clearly came out and said that he wants to leave. He's been vocal about that, but he also has remained quite professional in that sense, where it looks as though he is going to stay, whether it's reluctantly or not, but he's still going to give top performances, and you can't really argue that, from his point of view and from the fans' point of view. The fans of Liverpool really seem to have taken to him over the years. He's been there, but he also seems to be giving back to the club as well there. So it will be a nice kind of, I suppose, divorce, if you would say, if they can kind of end things amicably and he can move probably in the summer to someone in the Premier League or maybe abroad. There were some links, I think, with Juventus. That would be a brilliant move to see an Irish player playing for a club of that stature. So it remains to be seen what will happen there, but it would be great if he goes somewhere like that. But again, it's going to be a long season. And if Allison, I'm not sure why he wasn't in the team on this occasion, but if he is out of the team going forward, it's good for Kelleher, and it's good for Ireland, because we have a keeper then who's playing for one of the best clubs in England, and obviously then he is taking that and that performance into playing for Ireland then in international breaks and stuff like that. Keeping it with the Irish international team, Sinclair Armstrong was on the score sheet for Bristol City again. He's in a good run there since he's joined Bristol City, obviously with Jason Knight there, Mark Sykes and O'Leary in goal there. I think Jason Knight, I think he should be playing in the Premier League, if I'm being honest. I see some other players playing in the Premier League and I kind of say, well, why can't Jason Knight? I think he has all the tools to be a Premier League player. But he got the assist for Sinclair Armstrong, and they helped turn the game on its head there to beat Oxford 2-1. I know it's Oxford and people will complain, but that's kind of the news that kind of jumps out at you. Then you got Luke O'Connell scoring for Barnsley. He's captaining Barnsley. He's doing quite well in League One, and I think if he can continue his form, it could be interesting to see what happens to him next year. Into the League of Ireland then, I suppose. a big week for the League of Ireland. I was on this channel last week and I was speaking about Dundalk and what a shame it would be to see the club go. Thankfully, that didn't happen. John Temple and a number of investors did come in and did save the club temporarily. But I did watch the interview on their YouTube channel, which was quite good, with Gavin McLaughlin, who is their communications officer up at Dundalk. But he did an interview with the new owner, John Temple, and he did say, like, they're not out of the woods yet. It's really, really going to be difficult for them. And I think John Daly said that he wouldn't be staying on past next season, especially if they get relegated. He wouldn't be sticking around. So it's a big end of the season for for Dundalk. And obviously their rivals Drogheda getting a good result at Bows as well. But in keeping it with Dundalk, I think, look, he basically still came across as being very worried that the club could still go under at the end of the season. So I'm hoping that someone can, help the club, because we don't want to see, it would be catastrophic to see a club of that stature, the second most successful club in the League of Ireland, going bust and going under, going out of existence. It would just be terrible. I don't care who you support. I think rivalries go out the window with this type of stuff. I think as League of Ireland fans, you want as many good clubs and as much competition as you can get to make the league stronger, to make competition stronger. And then if we have a good league, it will only represent our national team. And obviously, as fans, we all want rivalries. Football is nothing without the rivalry. You need that team to hate, you need that team to love. And I think then, rivalries are what make football, and also the banter between clubs and fans and everything else, when it doesn't go over the top. But that's what we want to see as fans, and as as fans, as people who go to the game, we all want to see these things. So you'd be hoping that Dundalk can be, I suppose, saved from their financial crisis and see how they go from there. But I really, really, really hope that they can manage to get through the season, whether they get relegated or not, but just continue on from there, because it would be such a shame to lose a club like that, in my opinion. They do good work up around the Louth area. They've developed many players over the years. They've given, I suppose, Irish teams and Irish players hope that they could play in European competitions and stuff like that. So I think that's one of the major factors. Keeping it in League of Ireland, obviously, many people by now would have seen the game between Shamrock Rovers and Derry City ending 1-0, or 1-1, sorry. They were 1-0 up, and then the last few minutes, Patrick McElhenny took a dive in the Shamrock Rovers box, which led to a lot of controversy online, and Stephen Bradley came out and basically said the referee was absolutely shocking in the scenario, and if you look at the penalty, it was a shocking decision. A huge ramifications in the title race on that one, because Shelbourne had lost to Galway at that point, and Shamrock Rovers were winning, so that could have propelled them back into the title race, or closer to both teams there. So I think that one, it's been a mad week in the League of Ireland. It's never a dull week in the League of Ireland, to be honest. Huge in terms of, from Shell's point of view, that's probably the best result that they could have hoped for. But to be losing to Galway when was it 6 games to go, and you're still sitting there with I think the 3 points top now. Need to start winning games again, need to start scoring goals again, because the goals just look like they're gone from the team for whatever reason. They just can't get that, what they had early on in the season, where they were really kind of pushing other teams, and they were just looked so much fitter than other teams, and they were just winning games. And I know Will Jarvis was a big part of that, and losing him was massive, and losing Gavin Malloy was massive. But the wheels look as though they're coming off, and I hope that's not the case, because I would love to see Shelbourne go and win the league. But just at the moment, it looks as though it's headed that way. But look, there's still a few games to go. I think Damien Duff can turn the form around. He did come out in an interview and say that it's his job to turn things around. Look, Rory Higgins won't care about what he says. Like, they'll be out to win the league, and Shamrock Rovers will be doing everything they can to win the rest of their games before they head into the Europa Conference League and represent Ireland in that, because they do look good at the moment. Obviously, they're getting the bulk of their players back, and that's a big factor as to why they are sitting where they are in the league and not top, because a lot of their players have had injuries this season. So look, there's a lot of different factors, but I think from Shell's point of view, it's in their hands, and they have to start winning games again and scoring goals again to get back to that level. But that's really it. No one's came and joined in the comments for whatever reason, so I'm going to leave it at that. But that's with this week's week in Irish football. If there's anything I may have missed or anything like that, let me know in the comments. If there's any other shows like this that you would like to see, or you had any ideas, drop it in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to give the video a like as well, and don't forget to follow us on social media. I'll speak to you all soon.